You find yourself venturing into a world that is unfamiliar to you in every single way. All you have to your name is your wits and a broken phone that has no internet. But wait, you have the MidFall Podcast in your hands. Here you can listen to the tales of your three hosts, Luis, Josh, and Jared, as they venture through their own creative woes and whatnots. Get ready to be entertained through your wildest dreams as you conquer and face this new threatening world.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the MidFall Podcast. This is episode 14. I'm your host, Luis, or Lewy, also known as MidFall.99 on Instagram. And I am joined by my two lovely co hosts, Yosh and Jared.
Hello, I am
Shup.
here.
They are here. It's it's a Tuesday when we record. It's still the beginning of the week. And, a long week, I guess, ahead of us already, even though it's Tuesday. But,
Yeah.
we're only kind of just winding up a little currently so that we can go ahead and wind down because it is that Thanksgiving time, as we spoke about last time. One thing that I wanted to speak to you guys, though, about that we didn't get the chance to talk about last time on the Thanksgiving stuff, since it is Thanksgiving week this week. Normally, there are movies that play around the holiday season, especially if people still have cable. But just wanted to ask you guys, like, around your guys' like homes, your family homes or relative homes, whatever. What movies do you guys typically like to watch or be put on during the season?
Yeah.
Movies.
Personally, I'm a Harry Potter guy. Any point of the season, Harry Potter is kind of where I'm at. Harry Potter or Shrek. Can never go wrong with Shrek. Honestly, Shrek is
Your
kind of an
family
all,
actually puts on Shrek?
all year. What's up?
Your family puts on Shrek?
Yeah, I say so. Yeah,
That's
no,
pretty
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
I wish we did that.
Shrek.
My family does Home Alone every single year. Home Alone 1 every time. We changed it up once with like the newer Home Alone with some British kid, but it wasn't that good, if I'm being honest. It was kind of boring. It was a little too British for me, but it was decent, But Home Alone is our go-to. I low-key wish we could choose some other stuff because every single Christmas/holiday season, that's like the movie that they put on, and everyone just like stays until the movie's over, and it's really tiring to stay that long.
Yeah, I know. I feel that.
For me, at least, we don't really watch like a specific movie within our family. I mean, hey, if I got some free time, I'll put on like the Charlie Brown stuff, when the season calls for it.
Yep.
But outside of that, not really. Maybe I'll just pop by them watching like a Hallmark movie, new one of the year for Christmas and whatnot. But outside of that, not much from my side.
Okay.
Dang, yeah. That's to go along with it too. Charlie Brown. Jack, if she gets to watch this, she always likes to put on that, and then also another movie. I mean, that also can go all year, but my dog's favorite movie, Ratatouille, is also a classic. Because again, if you're gonna be inside and you're gonna put on stuff in the background, you have your go-tos, and Ratatouille is one of those.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, like I said, Harry Potter. Do you guys have any sort of preference? I know you guys aren't the biggest like Harry Potter fans, but any sort of preference on Harry Potter movies?
Maybe the second one.
The second one, all right, for sure.
The second one.
I will say I do like the beginning of the second one. I've rewatched that beginning like 3 times because I've rewatched the first few movies quite a few times. And the second one's beginning is pretty good. It's really interesting, to be honest. It grabs my attention really well.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It's a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, the second one I really enjoyed as a kid. The fifth one, Order of the Phoenix, I felt like was kind of overplayed a little bit for me, in my opinion, just because I really just mean it was overplayed, like in my household. My sister really enjoyed it, and so for that reason, it was just continually played, especially because I shared a room with her for a couple years. So, yeah, it was always played.
dude.
And then, what's up?
My family, I just realized this. Like, your family watches Harry Potter every now and then. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
My family would do that, but with Fast and Furious. Like, there was one holiday where we legit watched Fast and Furious, binge watched it for like a whole day. Like, people spent the night just to finish watching the whole franchise together.
Oh my god.
It was so freaking
That's
funny,
cool.
dude.
I mean,
It was
that's
insane.
fun, but like, it's cool.
Yeah,
What a perfect movie for family.
exactly.
Family.
Family.
That's funny.
Family.
But yeah, Harry Potter like that, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. So with fall, being here, being inside, does that do anything for your guys' inspiration? Like creatively, or does that do anything for you guys' inspiration, your motivation?
I've noticed during the fall time, I have the most free time from fall to winter, and it kind of sucks because I spend a lot of time indoors, but it especially makes me realize how much time I have. And so when I am not doing things like what we're doing right now, I feel like I'm wasting time. So it's not that it makes me feel more creative, it's more so it makes me conscious of how creative I should be because of how much time I can afford at the moment to be creative because of the season. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see it.
Especially because the daylight savings, it makes time feel like it goes by really, really quick. So, unfortunately, it's like, I feel like I got plenty of time. This and that. It's only this time, and daylight's out. But then you're like, dang, I feel like I blew through my day. It's like,
Literally.
it's
The
still.
second it hits
4
5 o'clock, just
Yeah.
That's literally how it is. It's horrible.
But yeah, you Jared?
yeah. For me, no, boys, it is seasonal depression, baby. All day, every day, baby. It's wonderful. I love it. I love it. But on a more serious note, not really. Not really. I think just in a level like creativity, it's always been pretty consistent with how it goes throughout the year. So I don't really notice any oh man, I feel super creative, or oh man, I have no ideas. It's usually pretty consistent with how it is.
What about you, Lush? Do you feel that way?
So I visually like fall the most, especially because there's gonna be a song on this next mixtape. It hasn't been made yet, but I already just decided the name of it, just because yesterday I was driving through to get some grilled cheese and some tomato soup, a place which both of you remember, and mainly Jared too. We were driving through this road specifically, and it's called East River Road, and you're driving through a river, and it's really picturesque just because it's really it's a far drive. You know, I'm gonna say that for some tomato soup and some grilled cheese, but the fact that it's really picturesque and it's you know, it kind of gets the vibes across. Yeah, this time really inspires me musically and in general. I don't know if it's also just because I feel like it's the end of the year and I want to feel like I want to end on a strong note, and then also just because, you know, everything feels like it also ramps up in terms of just work-wise. I feel like I get a lot of stuff done. I also have a lot of downtime, and yeah, I feel worked, honestly, during the seasons, just because of all this inspiration. I feel like I need to get a lot of work done. So I either love it or I hate it, because I get a lot of work done, or I hate that I can't get a lot of work done, and I can't. I feel anxious when I feel like I can't communicate those thoughts out, and I can't like get those thoughts out. So when I have writer's block, ooh, I hate it so much.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. It's almost like an antsy kind of feeling to it.
Yeah, exactly. Like yeah, anxiety, you know. I'd say a form of it, like, kind of just stems from that. But how do you guys deal with writer's block whenever you guys have it? For you, Josh, you know, it was making not music videos, sorry, but making videos. How would you kind of get over? Oh, you know what you should make.
Yeah, honestly, it's something I still suffer from. It's one of the biggest issues I have with like making videos, and it's because I get so into it, and then the energy just fizzles away because I'm so tired, and like the energy sapped away from me for this specific skill or topic or something like that. So usually I need like a detox period of just not worrying about said thing and letting myself really just enjoy other aspects of creativity, kind of like Zeke and Luther. I spoke about this in the previous episode, I think, before, but Zeke and Luther had that episode where they pick up the air band, guitar, drums, whatever, and they stop skating for a little bit, and they come back to skating, they come back better. And I feel like that's kind of the approach I learned as a kid, and I sometimes do that and it helps, but sometimes it's just you come back to it when you can come back to it is really what it is. If you get that spark moment, you go for it.
Definitely. Yeah, it's good to have different hobbies and different interests for that reason.
Yeah.
Along with that, Jared, you've recently kind of picked up a new hobby within, at least, you know, well, you know, you recently picked up an iPad, and with that came a new interest in hobby and stuff like that. Has that helped you with within your kind of like your writer's block recently? Like, do you feel like you've been having it less since you've been learning something new?
I feel like the writer's block has been a bit all over the place. Currently, when it comes to just drawing and whatnot, I haven't been doing that as much as I would like to do. But at the same time, I haven't really felt like, you know, that itch. You know, that itch to jump back into it. Actually, I think it was last week, I went to go see you about some stuff, and I was like telling you, like, hey, like I tried to like make some music, and I was like, I couldn't like get it down. Like things didn't feel right, and you know, I remember you mentioning, like, you know, kind of you were going through something similar, and then you went to doing something else, and you're like, oh man, I'm really getting a groove with this. And so I feel like for me, that kind of jumping into that idea, and what Josh was just recently saying, just kind of going into something else has been a real nice way of kind of like just varying up things and giving yourself like a break from what you kind of want to do. So then once you actually start feeling that urge to kind of just like jump into that field again, it kind of becomes almost explosive, like in a good way. Like you're like, oh my god, I have so many ideas, I can do so many things, And I guess for me right now, that has been writing as of lately. I've been really enjoying writing. I just like outlined like 2 or 3 chapters just in the past couple, like 2 or 3 days, and I'm like, oh my god, I have like so many ideas of how I want to like go about certain things and like different characters and whatnot. So I think for me that has been like where I'm at right now. I do want to start jumping back into like music and whatnot, like actually like producing stuff. But I think for right now, my focus has been through writing, but sooner or later it'll pop back up.
Heck yeah, no, that's really cool. Is there any new stuff that you've been looking to try out, Josh, or are you pretty satisfied creatively and feel full?
I think, honestly, it's easy to feel temporarily satisfied, but I think if you're a creative person, you both are, there's moments where you're like, okay, like I need to pick up something new, or maybe there's moments where you're like, I need to elevate what I'm learning right now because I'm in the beginning and I've gotten used to it. I need to like up the stakes. And right now I'm on that cusp of wanting to pick up the piano. And Louise was partly my inspiration because of when we were at the shopping mall over in that area with the pizza. And I was like, dude, I really want to learn how to play the piano just so I can stop by and just play random stuff like you can. Like, I think it'd just be fun to be able to do that. And I've wanted to do that for a while, but you really like pushed me without realizing it, I think. And so I went to a friend's place and borrowed his piano, his keyboard. I plugged it into my wall, and it is one of those like older Yamaha pianos that makes that is like the silver one, like the older one, you know what I mean? Like maybe early 2000s or so. But the issue with this one is I plug it in and it starts making noise on its own. So I can't play the piano of sound mind. I'd basically be going insane while playing it because it's playing notes while I'm playing keys. And so I'm going to give it back to him. He knows about this issue, so it's not like I broke it. It's a persistent issue. But that's one thing I wanted to pick up. I really wanted to pick up the keyboard / piano. So I'm hoping with like Black Friday shopping, I could look at some pianos to start with, like a keyboard, and just really get into it because I really, really want to learn. And I think it's a healthy thing to learn too, because there's a lot of like things you could learn, like video editing or audio editing and stuff like that. And a lot of those things translate to other skills, but there's certain things that you learn and you're like, okay, I could go a long way with this. And the reason for the piano, I don't think she'll ever hear this, but the piano, I want to learn it so I can just, raise up my girl and have her feel so like funny. Romantic, hear me play the piano for her suddenly one day. Like, she knows I want to learn it, but still, I think it'd be hilarious to just be able to play it super well on a romantic evening or something like that, or like a random restaurant that lets you go and play the piano, you know what I mean? Or just like 100%. A street or park. But yeah, that's I forgot the original question you asked, but I do get the feeling that I need to like learn new stuff.
No, yeah, definitely. Definitely. I still really want you to pick up music, but hopefully, we got some stuff cooking in the works. Not hopefully, we do.
Chefing.
But yeah, like that'll be cool once you also learning piano is cool because it helps you with music theory. So yeah, dude, Like if you know how to play the piano, you can just kind of even just learn how to produce music, like making that process so much easier. Because a lot of people, like for me for example, I did not know music theory when I first started producing. I still barely know it. I just know enough to get by. But yeah, you just knowing how to play a piano is a big help. So for me personally, I have periods of time where I prioritize my health, I believe. And what I mean by that is just I go heavy into training to like boxing, like at least like once or twice a year. And that kind of pulls me away from my creative side, because I feel like also I'm a very athletic person, so I still need to be exercised like a lot, and especially too I need just exercise like just throughout the day. If I don't have it, I definitely feel my anxiety grow. So yeah, I think it's good to have a physical hobby as well as a creative one. I feel like that keeps you well-rounded as a person. Obviously too, having a hobby that like educates you as well. I mean, but going into that as well, I just wanted to ask you guys, what hobbies do you guys have that you keep up with physically, or that keeps you fit? For me, it's boxing. For Josh, you mentioned, I believe last time, or you said recently, you joined a basketball league.
Yeah, I joined a basketball league because, like for you might get this feeling too when you're boxing. Like if you hadn't boxed in a few days, you kind of get that itch to want to go to the gym and train that or practice that in general.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always have that itch for basketball, and so I signed up for a league that I've been trying to join for a while. And I finally got in, and I'm beyond happy because the people that ended up being my teammates, because it was all random people put together, there's really cool people, and we plan to play in the league again the next time we can as a group. So I'm really excited about that. They're all really cool, and basketball is definitely my number one answer for that. I've gotten better too because of it, so I'm happy about that too. Like I've gotten way better than I would have if I didn't join.
No, that's cool. That's dope, especially like competition. I mean, this probably better than I do, Josh. I'm an extremely competitive person, mainly when it comes to physical stuff. When it comes to physical stuff, like I become like, competitive. So, that's why I love boxing, because it is just person to person. And it gets that competitive itch, scratched. So with competition also, like, I feel like it just makes you, with competition comes progress, I feel like. Because, I mean, even though you might not be, I'll say this, if you're not a competitive person at all, do try to just, find a standard, have a standard,
Yeah.
that way you at least have something to keep up with. For example, guys at my gym, I'm like, okay, I'd like to still be fit enough to be able to spar certain people. Like I need to be able to keep my athleticism, my skill up, one, to always keep learning something new, and then two, I don't want to be slacking because I need to, like I said, I need to keep up with certain people. Not as like a, how do I say this? Like a toxic trait, but mainly just as a measure of like, okay, a standard, like they're still working while I'm slacking type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in friendly competition.
I think something people get caught up in is like saying, oh, comparison's the thief of joy. Honestly, when you're like an athlete or trying to elevate yourself in a sport, I think it's the ultimate way to become the best athletic version of yourself. I've been comparing myself to the people at my league, and it forces me to literally drive to my gym at night and just start practicing dribbling the basketball, because I've noticed half of them can't dribble with their left hand, so I want to be one of the only people that can dribble with my left hand. So it's honestly, in my opinion, the skills you develop in said sports, I feel like are pretty healthily transferable to other things, and it's really, really nice to see those skills transfer and develop. Like when you focus on it, like you said, like you spend a few months focusing on the sport per year.
Yeah. And Jared, do you have anything that keeps you fit? Any hobbies that keep you fit? I mean, you go to the gym, you lift.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I've been going to the gym for a couple of years now. I didn't really think about it. I've been enjoying that a lot. Definitely started to develop kind of a new perspective on it, because initially when I was doing it, I was like, oh man, I want to get this type of like body, by like the summer or something like that. And nowadays it has evolved into, I just want to see what I can do. I just want to see like how far I can go with this. And honestly, having that kind of perspective when going into the gym has been absolutely wonderful, because it changes the mindset from comparisons to now just let's just see the progress. Let's see the progress from like January to like now, and I'll be like, oh my god, it's like night and day kind of change, over the span of almost a year. Outside of the gym, a lot of times I like playing with my dog. He's very energetic. He's only about 3 years old right now, so a lot of times he just likes to play and play and play and play. Honestly, I see no difference between like a regular human toddler to like him. I don't see a difference. They basically act the same.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was like, man, just keep on playing with him until he realizes, oh hey, I'm actually kind of tired right now, and just knocks out. It's wonderful, and it's a wonderful like leg exercise, to be honest.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the toddler thing is just so funny. I mean, I don't know if you remember, like, when I would walk Cora with you guys, like, and she wouldn't want to walk, I'd have to tell you guys, just, start walking that way. Start walking, like, keep walking, and I have to tell her, hey, look, he's leaving. And she's like, what? He's leaving? Ah, dang, time to go, like, type of thing. So then, no, yeah, but that's cool. I definitely want to and should, at least more, need to fit in time to get more fit again. I've still been sparring here and there, at least once every 2 weeks, maybe twice every 2 weeks. But I just haven't really been training as much. I've been shadowboxing here and there and stuff like that. But I feel some issues with my mobility, feel stiff, and I feel just not as conditioned as I used to be. So I want to go ahead and get that back, and I want to go ahead and keep it consistent this time for next year. Obviously, it's a little early not early to talk New Year's resolutions just yet, but we'll save that for another episode topic. So one thing that I would like to go ahead and bring up to you guys, that I'd like to maybe start doing on my episodes, is going ahead and bringing up a quote for us to go ahead and just think about and dissect. The quote that I chose today is from James Clear, and it's the guy that wrote Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits is a book that I read this year, actually, and it just talks about, I didn't finish reading it, unfortunately. I got maybe like a quarter of the way through it and the book got messed up, but it's all good. I will get it again and finish reading it. But yeah, Atomic Habits just basically talks about building small habits to go ahead and compound into large outcomes. So by you not eating or by you not drinking that can of Coke like today, you're saving yourself 150 300 calories, whatever it is. You do the same thing tomorrow, and you think about it like that. You're not drinking it today, right? And the next day you're not drinking it today, and that small little compound actually saves you so many calories. And people start to notice, oh hey, you lost a lot of weight. Well, it was actually just I stopped drinking Coke or soda last month. But people start to notice, right? So that's kind of what the book kind of emphasizes, just small little habits and how they can create big outcomes for success. So the quote that I have here today, again, James Clear, is, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." And once again, I'll read it again. "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." And that, to me, makes so much sense. Not necessarily makes so much sense, but us are kind of a huge example. I mean, ever since the three of us really got together and started putting this together, and we started actually putting systems into place, schedules, taking this a little bit more seriously, more of our content and more of our voices started coming to fruition. And so in my fights too, when I was getting ready to go ahead and get into shape and stuff like that, I would go ahead and notice that the biggest weight loss that I would have would just come from not eating snacks. Like, I would drop so much weight from just not eating a snack today. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I would look at it like that. Like, today I'm not gonna have it. Because if I think about it, like, I'm not gonna have snacks for like 6 weeks. Oh boy, that's a lot of snacks that I'm missing out on. But, if you look at it just kind of from that moment, just, not right now, then it's fine. But what do you guys think about the quote? We'll go ahead and read it one more time. It is, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems."
I like it. I'm just waiting to see what Jared wants to say.
To be honest, I don't know how I feel about the quote.
So it's basically just saying, like, it's not, okay, so to pick apart the quote, essentially it's saying, it's not you setting the goal of, I'm gonna lose 50 pounds. It's not you, I mean, obviously, like, there are, like, the few examples, but within speaking to the majority of people, you lose motivation, right? You lose motivation on your goals. You lose motivation to lose those 20 pounds, those 50 pounds. Suddenly, the goal of losing 50 to 25 pounds, whatever, is not enough. And you have to just rely on, I cut out snacks completely out of my cabinet. I don't have any more. I now, turn off my phone at a certain time and I put it across my bed. Like, getting proper sleep, and also not having snacks, and then also, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and meal prep, is the systems that you set in place for you to succeed, right? And the systems that you set in place are the things that cause you to lose the weight that you do, that you wanted, right? The systems that you set in place are what cause you to go ahead and accomplish the goal that you had in mind. The goal itself isn't enough.
Yeah.
And so, when we first started MidFall, we had the goal of MidFall. Like, we want to start a clothing business. That's it. That was so cool that we had a why, and we struggled to find a what even we wanted to even do. And like, once we found what we wanted to do, that was like dope. Like dope. Like, damn, we struck gold. We found out what we wanted to do.
Exactly.
And then not till like 6 years later was it we actually set systems in place. We kind of grew a little bit, matured. We have schedules, we have communication, we have like, you take the load here, or you take the little load here, you take the small load here. And through that, we built consistency. And it wasn't so much that, the goal was the motivator, but on the days that we didn't have motivation, the system was there, built in place to carry us through.
Yeah, so how I interpreted it was very similar to how Luis said it, but I digested it and thought about it, like, how do I do this already? And one thing I realized is it kind of you could simplify a lot of this and be like, oh yeah, Kobe Bryant, Mamba mentality, but he does that a lot where he talks about things like this, and he does it in a way it's a little bit more difficult to decipher because it's confusing a little bit. He's just like, do better, and you're like, what do you mean? Like that Kanye commercial? Like, are you a different animal but the same beast or something like that?
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, but it's funny, but it makes complete sense when you apply it to what you're already doing or going to do or plan to do. And like for basketball, for example, I gave you guys the example, like, I want to be better than the people I'm playing against. So what do? I'm not just going to be shooting around all day practicing shots. That's a horrible system. Like, that's just setting myself up for failure and being tired. But if I practice the fundamentals, like dribbling, like I said, and I learn how to dribble with my left hand properly, like I have, I'm going to be much further ahead than other people. And one thing I noticed is I've developed like a sense of watching other people's games and realizing the other people's weaknesses. And so one weakness I noticed in a guy in my league was he could only dribble with his left hand, not his right hand. He only dribbled with his left. And so I asked my teammates, like, let me get in the game. And I literally told one of my teammates, I told her, watch me get 6 steals, like a shit ton of steals in a few seconds. She's like, what? And then I go in, and the moment he gets the ball, I freaking poke it out of his hands because it's in his left hand. And I know exactly where the ball is going to be every time. And so it's not just developing restraint, but also practicing those things myself helped me realize, okay, I'm getting better because I can anticipate what he's going to do with his left hand because I've been using my left hand. And so it's a very, I wouldn't say nuanced, it's like a very random example to give, but that's how I applied it in my head. And so I do agree with what his name's James Clear, is that what his name was?
Yes, sir.
I do agree with what James Clear said a lot. I think it's a little bit difficult to relate to for some people because not everyone has something they're trying to get better at, whether it be their body or their fitness or boxing or basketball or music. Not everybody has that, so it's kind of difficult to like find how you can relate to it. But when you do find that thing you relate to it with, I think the quote makes a bunch of sense, and it kind of to end off what I'm going to say, it reminds me of like the saying, like, you're as strong as your weakest link for your team or whatever. Like if you're doing a group project, you're as strong as the weakest link in your group project, honestly. And so it reminds me of that because you're as strong, and this is more of like a self sense, you're as strong as like how prepared you are for turbulence.
Yeah, definitely. And I was going to say, to some people too, the motivation of the goal itself has been enough to carry people through certain things. I'm not saying that, or we're not saying that, you need systems and this and that all the time. I believe that for short-term goals, the goals themselves are the motivator. But I believe for long-term, definitely the systems are what will get you through. Because like I said, on days that motivation isn't there, then you need the systems to go ahead and rely on to go ahead and carry you through. For example, like backlogs. We got backlogs of videos. The days that we don't want to record, who cares? We got backlogs. We had systems there. You know what I mean? But yeah. What about you, Jared? Do you now have a take, not a take, but like a offer? You want to offer your own perspective on the quote?
Yeah. So I guess for me it was like I was saying a little earlier, I didn't really know how to feel about it because for me it was just very hard to interpret what exactly he was saying. When he was saying like fall to our systems, I didn't necessarily understand that per se. The way that you were explaining it, Luis, to me it sounded like rather than focusing on the end goal of whatever thing that you want to complete, focus the perspective on the steps that will lead to that goal, not focusing on at the end, rather what's in front of you right now and what you can build off from that. And for me, that works. That works definitely for me because, like I was saying earlier about the whole gym focus that I was having. Originally, I wanted like a really nice bod, like a lot of people who like kind of just jump into the gym for the first time is just like kind of like that perspective. But once I turned it into, oh hey, I'm just trying to see what I can do and just try to get better from that, soon enough that type of body became very accessible.
Yeah.
It became super accessible, and all I really had to do was go to the gym, not expect myself to be doing like crazy numbers all the time, and just kind of eating in general just better. In general, better. It's like, okay, let me get some like protein powder so I can gain a little bit more muscles. Let me change my diet around. So I mean, what he was saying, yeah.
Heck yeah. No, yeah. Once again, the book is Atomic Habits, the one that I've read from him, and like I said, the book is just about making small habits, or being aware that you're creating small habits throughout your day that don't really cost you anything, but they will create in a big outcome, later on. I think I've said it before, saving $10,000 is just saving about $30 a day, right? So yes, it sounds like a lot, $30 a day, and obviously it is. Saving $10,000 in a year is a lot to some, but to some people, $30, that's money for food. If we go ahead and budget, if we eat out, if we are able to go ahead and just switch something out to go ahead and eating and meal prepping, maybe at least saving like half of that, $15, you're still at least saving $5,000 a year type of thing. And like if you put it into something, and even just starting to put money away in itself is like, oh dang, now I actually have money. And then going to the gym, like you said, instead of going to the gym with a goal of losing weight, just going to the gym with the intent of, oh, I'm gonna, or the goal just being, I'm gonna have the intent to go to the gym every day, not have too much expectation, but like at least you're placing yourself in the environment to how do you say it, you're placing yourself in the environment to achieve your goals, or at least like build yourself up to achieve your goals. I mean, probably a lot of us don't like to go to the library, but I'm sure a lot of us can get a lot of work done in the library. But yeah.
Back in college, that was the go-to.
But yeah. Dang. Well, that pretty much does it for this podcast. At least all that I got set up for us. Announcement time. Go ahead and check out Black MidFall. Still on all platforms. Please, we need the streams. We're starving artists. I am a starving artist. And effort was placed, and ears and listens are much appreciated. Mainly for Jared's part, because I feel bad for being like, hey, can we release this next month? Yeah, Black MidFall, and then No Respawn, link tree in the description. There will be a new episode of the horror podcast that I'm starring, that I mentioned last episode. POV, The Void podcast, starring me and Cyrus Cherb. Yeah, we have that going on, and you guys have heard of Cyrus. He was in the very, very first season of the MidFall Podcast and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, Black MidFall, No Respawn, link tree in the description, and crushroomcrypt.com. Also, it will be in the link tree in the description. All that stuff. Go ahead and purchase some merchandise, please. I hope you guys like the merchandise.
We definitely do.
That's it. Just keep an eye out for every single project that we got going on, because also The Boys Go South next month. New tape coming out next month, because projects are coming out here and there. Always, like we said, floodgates are open, so expect projects.
Yes.
Boys Go South next month.
Yes, sir.
We're going south.
Thank you guys for joining us on this episode of the MidFall Podcast, episode 14. I am your host, Luis, or Louie. My co-host, J-Rod and Yosh.
Shaw.
Have a good night, day, wherever you're at.
Peace.
Peace out.